fighting games are going a bit nuts this past couple weeks.
Yeah, EVO is slowly approaching, and news are abound.
Yeah. And throw on top of that, of course, that MultiVersus open beta just happened. It just started, and the closed beta started not too long before that.
Yeah, true.
And because of the goofy way that closed beta entry was handled, there were way more people in the closed beta than you would expect.
Yeah.
It's definitely a episode today where we are not lacking for shit to talk about.
Yeah. But before we begin properly, the bingo card should be on screen. You can screen cap it if you want to play along. There you go.
Yay!
Because it feels like half of these episodes I forget to bring the bingo card up. And it's there in case people want some sort of interaction with the videos, because this is literally just a fucking podcast. You're supposed to do other shit while you're listening to this, in theory.
Yeah.
But yeah. So first things first, the problem with Blaze Blue that I brought up, or the sort of last fighting games are, that was fixed, I think, a day before the last fighting games are came out.
Huh?
So good on them. I updated the description of the video to say so, like pre-release. But even still, I figured I'd bring it up now just to make sure that people know.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. There's plenty of people who don't read the modding description, who don't read the description, and they're just going to go ahead and comment anyways. Hey, they fixed it.
Yeah. So that, and then let's move through the news one by one, I suppose. So, then I mean chronologically. So first, Schoolgirls' final season 1 character will be revealed at EVO.
Ooh, alright.
This was technically 2.5 weeks ago that this was announced, so I could have brought it up on less fighting games are, but I forgot, I guess. So yeah, that's gonna be a thing. No, I did bring this up because we joked about Zubaz. Anyway.
Well, either which way, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Because it's an interesting case of we actually know the possibilities of who can get added, so it's not just a shot in the dark, but at the same time, there are a shitload of possibilities of who it could be, so it's still a mystery.
Yeah. Then, Tekken Bloodlines official trailer came out, and the thing that I noticed is that apparently the series is no longer being made by Team Red. Did any of those words make sense to you?
Could you repeat that?
So, Tekken has an anime in production for Netflix called Tekken Bloodline.
Yeah.
When they teased this initially, they said that Team Red is working on the anime. As in, like,
Team Red is in the team
Arxis,
at Arxis that makes Guilty Gear?
Yeah. They said that...
Why?
I don't know. But apparently, between this trailer and the last trailer, Team Red decided, hey, actually, it's kind of fucking hard to make an anime and a fighting game at the same time, so we won't.
Huh?
Because... or at least between the two trailers that I saw, and one of them may not be this one, actually. But whatever. Between the two trailers I saw for this series, Team Red's logo disappeared.
Huh?
Either which way, people are hyping it up and stuff. It's apparently mostly just gonna be Jin's background story. I know enough Tekken lore. Like, it's...
Do we not already have Jin's backstory as a thing?
Well, we have it at least once with the Tekken movie. The bad one. And then...
Oh, yeah.
It's also in the games. And then they're also doing this to make it so, like, basically this is them going, well, we don't want to, make single-player content, so why not just rehash Tekken 3 single-player content and make it so something that we can sell again?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. but it's gonna be on Netflix, so you don't have to pay for it as much. You don't have to. There's no real price of admission aside from what you pay to watch Breaking Bad anyway.
Yeah, I guess, but
So yeah, that's that. Let's see, because I have news and non-news topics related to fighting games saved here, but yeah, Melty Blood announced 2 characters, as well as the fact that they're gonna be having a season 2, and they're adding 4 more characters to Type Lumina. Now, the 2 characters that they have decided to add, one of them is a character from, I want to say, Fate Grand Order, or something like that. Mesh Kyrielite. I don't know them, so but
yeah, I don't either.
But the other one is the devil. It's Nekoark. They're back.
The tiny cat, right?
Yeah,
before Yoda.
The Odd Job, yes. Not even Soul Calibur for Yoda. Surfbot. That's the character. They're Surfbot.
Amazing.
Yeah. And this announcement has rattled the bones a bit from what I saw. There's been a lot of memeing about how the thing is they're adding Nekoark because Nekoark was memed about because people said that they wanted Nekoark, and now that Nekoark is here, people realize what they just said.
Yeah.
Good luck, fellas.
Well, no matter what, there's always going to be a thing in fighting games of, I love this character that everyone else thinks is dirty and cheap and not legitimate. So please add him. And the character gets added for those guys. And then everybody else goes, no, he's dirty and cheap and not legitimate. You have made a mistake.
Yeah.
I demand refund.
I want my fighting game to consist of Karate Man or Kung Fu Man fighting Kung Fu Man.
Yeah.
I want to play vanilla. I want to play vanilla Mugen as it comes out of the box. That is my my life goals as fighting games.
It has to be Street Fighter 1 Ryu versus Street Fighter 1 Ken, or else the game just isn't fair.
Yeah.
Which, technically speaking, is right. However, when you get outside of technical speaking, the game's not fun.
But you can moonjump, though. And look at Sagat's stanky leg.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So, anyway. All of those. I also wanted to bring up an indie game that I apparently don't have an access to showcase, apparently. But whatever. So I guess never mind. I'll find it like during the week again, like I've done for the past 2 fighting games hours, and then I just go, what the fuck? So anyway, never mind, I guess. In other news, let's see. There's no real other news. There's EVO. EVO has announced, or Sony has announced that Bemco, Capcom, and basically everyone will announce something at EVO this year.
Okay, well that's definitely exciting. I mean, Capcom, we already know. Again, it's kind of like Skullgirls. It's exciting because we don't know who's getting announced out of a certain pool, but we still know it's going to be a certain pool.
Yeah. I mean, like, that, but also for Street Fighter 6, since it's still in development, they can just showcase other shit. They can showcase their weird-ass single-player RPG game mode that we don't know nothing about.
Well, I'd save that for, like, the E3 kind of events. At EVO, people want characters.
That's true.
Like, it's a difference of priority. The EVO guys aren't going to be so excited by single-player stuff. They'll play it, but their EVO guys are going to be about playing the game competitively and playing the game in multiplayer, playing the game with friends. And when you're doing that, The only things that matter are the actual mechanics of the match and the character roster.
Yeah.
So World Tour, I'd have to say, is probably going to be either a PlayStation event or
Jeff
I
Keighley's
doubt
thing.
they'd wait. I was about to say, but I don't think they'd wait that long for it. Because honestly, I think World Tour has a good chance of being the thing that's supposed to sell the game to casuals, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, they can't really use E3 anymore because E3's dead. So, you know.
Depending
yeah.
on how dead it is, they could at least give a paltry showing. Like, I don't know, here's a Honda, I guess.
Yeah. It's not even it's not even e-Honda, it's just a picture of a Honda, a car.
Yeah, one of the developers' Honda sitting in the parking lot.
Yeah.
But then Ryu just comes out and beats up the car.
Yeah. It's an AR video. So like it's live from the front of the thing, but Ryu's beating it up in the game. And then the actual developer runs out of the conference hall and yells, "My car."
Yeah. Do Street Fighter characters just attack any car they see?
Yes, it's evil. It's technology.
Ryu might take that stance, but I can't see the other characters necessarily taking that stance.
It depends on character. On the character. Can beats up the cars because they don't cost $10,000.
That's true.
Zangief beats up cars for training.
Yeah.
Chun-Li destroys cars because it's easier than getting them towed. Akuma doesn't give a shit. He's just bored.
Yeah. I feel like if we talk about the Street Fighter's characters and taste in cars, we're just going to be going down the road to making a Street Fighter car combat game.
Featuring the guest character Daytona USA car.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Remember when they made a WWE car combat game?
Barely, but yes. Crush Hour or Rush Hour? I forget.
Crush Hour, yeah. That has got to be the strangest wrestling game that's ever been made, honestly.
I mean, to be fair, The Undertaker sponsored a monster truck, so at least he owns a big car. They could have fit it into the game.
I'm not saying there's no obvious choices there. You know, you could give Stone Cold a big truck, Taker a hearse, but why is Big Show and Chris Benoit on the roster, you know?
I mean, I could make an easy joke about Chris Benoit here, but you know.
Well, I don't think there's any cars that indicate murder, double murder, suicide.
I know, but he's the only one on the roster with an actual body count. So in a killer car game, you know, has an advantage.
I'm not for certain he is. Let me look up that roster. Crush Hour. That is such a terrible name.
Yeah.
Okay. The roster of WWE Crush Hour. Boy, it did not take long for us to go wildly off topic.
Yeah.
Big Show, Billy Gunn, Booker T, Brock Lesnar, Bubba Ray Dudley, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Chuck Palumbo, Edge, Jeff Hardy, Kane, Kurt Angle, Matt Hardy, Rikishi, Rob Van Dam, The Rock, Stacey Keibler, Trish Stratus, The Undertaker, William Regal, JBL, Christian, Devon Dudley, Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Lita, Ric Flair, Stephanie, and Vince.
So yeah,
I want to point out.
Go ahead.
This game has a better roster than most wrestling games, The only one out of these characters that I would say is a who pick is Chuck Palumbo.
But you will remember him. Yeah.
No, I won't.
They had to put Chuck Palumbo in because him and Billy Gunn were a package deal.
Yeah, but what if you're gonna get Billy Gunn and Chuck Palumbo together? Where's Rico?
He may have been gone from the company at that point. I don't remember. Anyway,
oh no, I think I'm just dead. Oh, okay.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, back to fighting games. That odd little bit of you learn something every day, folks. Some of you may have just came here for fighting games. Well, don't worry. A real life pro wrestling promotion about pro wrestling and not car combat, for whatever reason, made a Twisted Metal knockoff. Go figure.
It was the style at the times. So
It was the style at the time. Had onions on our belts. I wonder if Vince is walking around with an onion on his belt.
Not anymore.
I wonder if in Street Fighter 6 we can expect G to come back with an onion on his belt. Honestly, no. G's so fucking crazy I wouldn't be shocked.
He's wearing platform shoes and MC Hammer pants and onions.
This onion proves the layers of the earth.
Yeah. I'm just imagining every time G comes back for a game, they just give him a different era's like design aesthetic. So like he was fucking like 1400s in 5. He's gonna be 1980s or 1970s.
He was Abe Lincoln in 5, and Abe Lincoln was the 1860s.
That's true.
But if he does cosplay a different president every time, Then next time he's going to come out dressed like Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
With a big stick.
He gets... His new V-trigger equivalent is if he gets shot with a projectile, he can eat it for more damage.
Huh.
Like, it buffs him. Like, it still takes down the health, but he gets like a 1.5 damage multiplier.
He was saved by the power of the earth.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's the next bit of fighting game news?
Well, I believe that might be it, because it's mostly just, Melty Blood stuff. And, the EVO things which we don't know, we can only speculate about.
Well, honestly, one of the big ones, I think, is... You said Bamco will be announcing something, right?
Yes.
So, either that's Tekken 8, or it means Tekken 7 isn't dead yet, which would be kind of a shocker.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Harada on his own channel has been talking weirdly about the whole... Like, he's talked about rollback recently again. Because he had the guy who works on KOF and Genya on his channel. And one of them, I forget who, asked him about rollback. And he explained why rollback doesn't work in Tekken right now. But the way he explained it suggested that he might be thinking about fixing that. Because
that would be pretty nutty if they announced rollback at EVO, yeah.
I don't think he can fix it for Tekken 7. But basically what he said is that rollback can't work with Tekken as it is right now, because Tekken doesn't use as many keyframes, or not keyframes, but I'm forgetting the animation term. Shit, the big poses that Street Fighter uses. It doesn't have those.
Well,
there's also too many legacy moves in Tekken to be able to change the animations easily enough to be able to switch to rollback.
Well, if his argument is that rollback is too much work to put in on 3D, it costs too much money, then that's perfectly understandable. If his argument is it'll make the animations not look pretty, my response is get fucked. Then I'll just not play online. Like, no.
I think it's a mixture of the two, because he did bring out that it would look it would look very jumpy with the way things are right now, but then he brought up that there's too many legacy moves and the animations aren't set up for rollback to work properly. So I don't know what to gather from what he said. It just like, it seemed like he's aware of what the issue is, and I'm not the way he talked about it doesn't suggest whether or not he's actually thinking about fixing it. Like, the way he said it to me sounded very, very much like, it's a possibility that they might just cut the legacy moves, some of them, or reanimate them to have stronger movement or keyframes or whatever, and then try to make rollback happen on a PS5 Xbox Series X exclusive Tekken 8, which would be able to handle that shit. But at the same time,
we don't talk about it a whole lot, but it is super fucking weird. Like, Japanese fighting games generally try to change as little about characters as possible from game to game to game. It's just that more of a general trend they generally stick to. But Street Fighter, keeps the same special moves, but the characters' moves, like the animations, get updated, and the Hadouken looks a bit better with every game. Tekken is weird in that they not only try to change as little about the movesets outside of adding new moves, but they also make it so that the animations that go back to Tekken 1 look just as janky as they did back in Tekken 1. And that's such a weird thing that only Tekken does,
Yeah. And it's
like every new Tekken animation is so fluidly animated and built to make it look like a real human is doing it. And then you have the spinning devil kicks, right?
Yeah, devil sweep.
Yeah. Or just the basic fucking Kazuya Heihachi 1-2-2 combo, right?
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's bad. In fact, it's a little charming in a couple cases.
Yeah,
like
it's a weird aesthetic. But it's an aesthetic.
When you look at it in comparison to the rest of the fighting game industry, it's just odd.
Yeah. But like, once again, to reiterate what I just said, pretty much, like, this doesn't prove shit. But the way he's been talking about it, and the way he's been talking about trying to take notes from NetherRealm and stuff like that, means that there's hope,
Yeah.
Like, he's purposefully, he pretty much has said that he's purposefully not saying anything. He's trying to limit what he says so much just to not spoil anything about either Tekken 7's future or Tekken 8. But that's like, the whole channel is him giving his opinion on things, or like just having discussions like we are right now and stuff like that. And eventually, you'll either get to see a part of how Namco works, or how Harada does shit behind the scenes, because eventually it comes up and he has to say something.
Yeah. And so, I do find it funny, though, saying, like, oh, the future of Tekken 7. It'd be funny if they did, like, I don't remember if I mentioned this to you, when Creative Assembly released a YouTube video titled, The Future of Total War 3 Kingdoms. You click on it, the video just says, Total War 3 Kingdoms has no future. It's done. Not so bluntly or explicitly, but it's about 5 minutes of them saying, yeah, we're done with 3 Kingdoms. It's not getting any more updates or DLC. But the video is titled The Future of 3 Kingdoms.
They should do that. So, like, they should fucking do that for Tekken 8. Like, when they want to start hyping up Tekken 8, they just release a video called The Future of Tekken 7. It's a video of Harada walking out to the edge of the Bamco building with like the fucking 30 copies of Tekken 7 in his hands, and then just throwing it down to the ground.
The crowd below starts picking up as many copies like hungry pigeons.
Yeah.
And that'd honestly be kind of a funny way to announce them going free to play.
Yeah.
Take this, knaves. Sup from my... actually, I'm going to stop with this metaphor before it gets weird.
All right. But yeah, I'm thinking more Heihachi throwing Kazuya down the mountain.
They go to the nearest volcano.
Yeah.
And he just, not 30 copies, just one copy of Tekken 7 that he holds with both hands.
Yeah.
And then throws in the same way Heihachi does.
He doesn't throw it, he doesn't hold it with both hands. He cradles it.
Yeah.
Shit. And then the thing is, I'm pretty sure there is a working volcano in Japan, so they could do it. It's a possibility.
Now, of course, bears mentioning the heat convection would probably kill you if you stood at the mouth of a volcano, but
Yeah.
hey, green send a robot up to do it, and then green screen a green robot up to do it, and then green screen Harada in over the robot.
Yes.
Badly.
He's like it literally just looks like he's holding, like he's cradling the copy of Tekken 7 with telepathy. Or telekinesis, rather. But yeah.
Like, Harada's facing the wrong way at some points.
Yeah. Because they only recorded him doing the take once from one angle. But the robot was recorded from 3. So they just had to shadily like fucking flip the footage of Harada doing it from that one angle.
Alright.
So yeah, he's also speaking of Harada being tight-lipped about this shit. He has said that like I said this to you off recording, but yeah, Harada's said that attending tournaments has become hard for him because whenever he shows up at a tournament, people expect him to go up on stage and announce something, and he sometimes just wants to watch a tournament. But
he needs to start going in disguise.
Yeah. But so like he didn't go to this year's Combo Breaker, I think, is what he said, because he didn't want to put the pressure on both Bemco and the Combo Breaker people by appearing there and then not announcing shit. And he said that they have the guy who goes up and announces the esports stuff or something like that. Yasuda Esports, I think they call him. I don't remember, but yeah. So they have that guy to talk about stuff whenever Harada's not there. And his job is go up on stage and make sure people understand that that the company doesn't have anything to announce. Also talk about esports.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I've been thinking about getting him to announce games, just to fuck with people. So basically, you know, like the best part of that whole bit is that he spent like, I want to say, half a minute talking about how that guy's whole job is to make sure people understand that there's no game announcements. So basically, it's once again a Wild West, because up until now, whenever that guy appeared, you knew that nothing would happen, and going forward, probably nothing will happen. But at the same time, who the fuck knows anymore?
I certainly don't.
A weird part that I just to close out on Harada's channel's discussions for now. The weirdest part for me is that he during his talk with the guy who worked on KOF, Oda, I think. He brought up how they were bought out by the prince and stuff like that. And he's like, so do you have to wear the traditional like outfit that they wear? And the Oda's like, no. Oda just pretty well went, yet. Which I didn't expect. Like, you know, it's a weird thing to say, but Harada's, like, I know Harada's whole shtick is that he's unprofessional, but at the same time, the dude's professional when he needs to be. And I didn't expect him to actually just fucking do something like that, you know? So anyway, there's that. Who else is doing announcements? I forget because it's pretty much everyone, from what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, Capcom, Warner Brothers, SNK, Bamco, and Arc System Works. So everyone.
Yeah.
Bamco, like the Bamco announcement is just gonna be them dragging out fucking Sakurai, and he's gonna be like Smash 5. He's just sept of all life.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I'm going to be honest. I think for about the next decade, like I think for a good while, people are going to accept that almost certainly there is no way any Smash sequel could top Ultimate, and it's going to take a decade before people are just so hungry for a new game that they'll go, "Fuck it, give us a Smash 5 anyways." Actually, it'd be Smash 6.
Technically, yeah.
Nobody counts Wii U. Ow!
That was your Wii U attacking you for disrespecting it and Pokken.
I don't even own a Wii U!
Exactly. So... oh, by the way, I guess that there was a smallish EVO reveal on Harada's channel. Because Harada was just like, so EVO's coming up. Do you have anything to announce there, guy from SNK? Bless you.
Thank you.
So yeah, there is going to be something for KOF. That's all we know for EVO right now. Something will be there for KOF. Hopefully not Orochi team again. They've been announced 3 times.
Could you repeat that?
I said that there is going to be something at EVO for KOF. Hopefully not the Orochi team again, because they've been announced 3 times.
Oh, okay. My internet cut out for a little bit, and I thought you said something about Hiroshi or something. I was like, a new character.
Yeah, the
no.
Yeah, he's designed by the guy who did Maximum Impact, whose name I'm forgetting.
Oh, that fucking weirdo. What was his name?
Falcon?
Falcon, yes, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess here's a bit of news that's not news to anybody, but whatever. It's fucking dumb as news. Project confirmed free to play. Wow, surprise.
Yeah, that.
You know the news is fucking Tekken 7 features Jin Kazama as a playable character.
Oh,
What happened?
that was weird.
Okay. Sure.
Oh, my computer stopped in time for about a second there.
That's just the world.
Oh, okay. The world had a lag spike for a moment.
Yeah.
All right.
So
if Arxis is announcing anything, they're probably going to announce, "Hey, maybe we should fix Lab Coat 21."
now Arxis has what? He's being eaten actively.
What the fuck?
What?
Okay, I guess it's done now. My computer is just doing weird shit now.
I see. Nice. So yeah, Arxis has crossplay to announce for Strive. Like they've announced that it's gonna be a thing. They need to announce when it's gonna be a thing. Still. And let's see. Oh, it's still going on. Are we done?
Against all odds, I'm not for certain, but I think this may actually fix the issue because of weird shit with my HDMI and how it handles ports. Because I've got the HDMI, I've got my computer rigged up to 2 monitors, but 1 monitor is also rigged up to my PS5. So I think this will probably fix it for no reason, but I've turned on the TV and the PS5. So for whatever reason, that seems to stop this. So
all right, cool.
Yeah.
So where was I? Shit. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, Arxis has the crossplay for Strive to announce. They have Well, did we ever get confirmation whether or not Arxis is actually working on Persona 4 Arena remake or remaster rather? Because there's still no.
I don't think we ever got confirmation of that.
'cause
Wait. I'm sorry. What did you say?
I'm
Did you say Persona 4 Arena remake?
remaster, yeah.
Didn't that already release?
Yes, but I'm asking because they still haven't rolled out the rollback.
Oh, if they're adding rollback. They said they'd add rollback if it was popular enough. I guess it wasn't popular enough.
I suppose so. But yeah, if Arxis has something to do with it, I guess they could announce that, and then I guess Lab Code 21 as well. But you know, like I really want them to just announce, hey, here's the last update of Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and then it's just all the update does is just give you a pop up when you go into the lounge that says Unreal Engine 3 is cursed. We can't put rollback into the game. Like there is no feasible amount of work where we can do this with a budget. Because like technically, I'm pretty sure it's possible. It would just take a lot of money, and that's pretty much why Dragon Ball Fighter Z has no rollback. Which, speaking of, I just wanted to point this out because I really like this comment that I saw. I don't remember what the argument was about or whatever, but I saw someone on the Fighters subreddit just be like, why can none of these games have rollback like Dragon Ball Fighter Z and Street Fighter 5?
Amazing.
Yeah, like I get it. They're not completely wrong, but pick a game that actually doesn't have rollback for real though. Like Dragon Ball Fighter Z, fine, but like maybe like I know Street Fighter 5's netcode is shit. I've experienced it, but it's still technically rollback. Like I just love those people who do no research and then just go on a rant. And it's completely unfounded and probably wrong. But the heart is what counts. So anyway, let me talk about the Guilty Strive. So yeah. I believe that's all of the news that we have. I have some other topics that are fighting games related.
What was that?
Well, I've seen a couple of good questions, such as, how do you tell a good weirdo character from a bad one? So what?
Bad question. They're all good.
I don't know. I feel like there's at least one guy. Like I feel like I remember a weirdo character that was a pervert. And
oh, you mean weirdo as in like they're in the lore they're a weird person rather than they have a weird moveset?
I think it's supposed to go for both. So like both the people who are both people like Faust and people like Xanadu.
Oh, well, if we're talking about guys who are weirdos in the lore, well, of course there's plenty that suck, but that's a different question than what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, but the question is, how do you tell them? And it's simple. Are you genuinely creeped out by this person? Like would the way they act land them in jail, IRL, and do they creep you out? If the answer to both of those is yes, then they're probably bad. There is some wiggle room here. There is some wiggle room here, I guess, because Baldhead would go to jail probably because he's operating on people without a license. But then again, I suppose Baldhead wasn't.
Voldo?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is Voldo legitimately a pervert, or does he just move that way?
he just moves that way, if memory serves.
Okay.
Like he just wears a codpiece and moves like a fucking sex pervert because he likes it. And that's what his god demands, or something like that. I forget. So yeah, like the for a weird or a worse weirdo character, I guess from Soul Calibur, you'd have Ivy, who would technically be weirder, but like she's very vanilla, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean her character's interesting, but she's not weird.
Yeah.
Tira didn't have a very weird moveset, did she? I don't remember. I never really played her.
Tira wasn't that weird. Like her thing was hula hoops and like throwing the hula hoop at people and taking it apart into 3 pieces to use as a sword. But like,
Yeah.
it wasn't anything particularly weird.
Well, I suppose one that's specific to Bamco that you could always throw in is the archetype of Mokujin, Olkadan, Charade, whoever. They're all weirdos.
True. And usually that's or at least with Mokujin, that's their character. Like Mokujin's whole thing is that isn't it fucking weird that just a training dummy is playable?
Yeah. I mean, what is Charade? I forget what Charade is. Is Charade like broken segments of Soul Edge that got sentient or something?
I don't remember. So maybe. Let me. I'm gonna look this up and thank the recording in the process probably.
And Olkadan is just an owl man in a labyrinth.
Yeah, Olkadan's just cool. That's his character. That's all you need to know.
Olkadan is cool. That is true.
I used to main Olkadan for a bit. Yeah.
Owls are an underrated like Beastman. Well, honestly, owls in general are just an underrated like animal to mix with other animals in fantasy. Like D&D doesn't have a whole lot of monsters, to my understanding, that are super unique to just D&D, which is how fantasy goes. Almost all of it goes back to Tolkien.
Yeah.
But the moment I heard D&D has owl bears, I was like, "Oh, this is great." It's a bear with an owl's head. How is that not just amazing? I want a fantasy creature that's a giant owl.
I'm sure those exist. Isn't that your companion in The Last Guardian?
No, your companion in The Last Guardian is a big, weird kind of dog thing. It kind of looks like one of those Mexican hairless dogs, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm looking up Charade, what Charade is. And Charade is the remains of a man who was weary of the Warthor lands and dreaming of adventure, who then got murdered on his way to finding Soul Edge, and somehow his blood mixed with these fragments of Soul Edge, forming Charade.
Okay, so that also explains why Charade didn't come back after Soul Calibur 2, because Nightmare reassembled Soul Edge for the most part.
Yeah.
Huh. I think I've said this before, but bringing back Nightmare as his own spirit in Soul Calibur 3 was a mistake.
Yeah.
It was honestly like, Soul Calibur 5 has a lot of issues with its plot, but I will say one of the things that actually made me pop in Soul Calibur 5 was Nightmare isn't a spirit anymore. So Nightmare's new host is Raphael. It was like, oh, of course it's fucking Raphael.
Yeah. He has to save Amy.
Yep. That's always Raphael, and he will stop at fucking nothing to do it. I mean, he already had the bad exposure to Soul Edge once, and it turned him into a fucking vampire.
He just wants more cool forms.
No, I guess. All right. What else do we got?
All right, this could either be a short one or a long one. So, what is an instant red flag for you in any fighting game?
Oh boy, instant red flag. Hmm. I really don't know. But this is more of a you question because I think for me, like I've already established, I'm very easy to please with fighting games. I try to adapt based on the fighting game. I struggle to think of any fighting game that I would emphatically just say, no, I'm not playing that. Right?
I can tell you two games that you will just go, no, I'm not playing that.
Well, hang on. If it's some weird sex perversion thing, that's different. Is it some weird sex perversion thing?
I don't think so. At least not in one of them. I'm sure about the other one.
I'm not playing Panty Fighter.
I did not know that existed.
Was that not the game that killed the Super Best Friends?
It might have been.
I think it was.
Nice. But yeah, I was going to say that Them's fighting her. I was going to say Them's fighting herds and Arcana Heart. I think Arcana Heart is the fighting game I'm thinking about.
I would definitely be willing to try Them's fighting herds. I wouldn't stick with it, and I don't want it in my Steam library. But if somebody offers me to sit down and play it, then I'll try it. Arcana Heart, I know nothing about. If it's some weird sex pervert thing, then that's just an emphatic no. I won't play it altogether. And again, I wouldn't want it in my Steam library, right?
Yeah, I mean, my thing is that like, I barely know about Arcana Heart myself. The only thing I know about it is that if I'm correct, and it's the game I'm thinking about. It's the game with the pentagram for an input, and that's the only thing I know.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Both of those games, the problem is an aesthetic problem. And that is not unique to fighting games. That does not pertain to fighting games. You can say that for anything. Like, you could say, like, oh, when you play a shooter, what's the first warning sign? Oh, the fact that the gun is got rainbows on it. Like, oh, well, I mean, that may be a warning sign that the game's not for you, I guess, but... Or that the game has a stupid story, but it's not an indicator that it's got bad gameplay, you know? Like, when you mentioned that question, I was thinking, like, oh, what's a warning sign this fighting game is going to have bad gameplay? I didn't think you were meaning, like, oh, what's a warning sign that I'm not going to like this, like, fighting game's aesthetic? That's a very different question, you know?
Yeah, but at the same...
And a much less interesting one.
But yeah, but at the same time, like, the end result is the same. Like, it's you not liking the game, you know?
Right, I'm not talking about the end result. Disliking a fighting game for gameplay reasons or for aesthetic reasons are two entirely different things, and one is much less interesting than the other. Like, you can just say, I don't like this game's aesthetic, and honestly, the discussion ends there, because you can't really argue that. It's like what we get into every time with KI 2013, is I'll say, man, I love this gameplay, and then you go, man, I hate this aesthetic, and I can't argue, because it's just aesthetic, it's subjective.
Yeah.
Like, there's no discussion to be had there, it's just you like it or you don't. Whereas with, like, oh, you know, the game did this, and that's the first sign it's a shit game, there's something to be talked about there, you know?
Yeah. And, like, you might think that I'd have a point for the objective stuff, but, like, you'd be surprised, but like, you know, if when you said, hey, let's play KI 2013 to remote play, I said fine, because I don't actually give a shit. Like, I don't.
Well, at the end of the day, I don't think, like, even with talking about gameplay warning signs, I don't think that's something either of us can comment on, because, like I said, I'm very easily pleased, and for you, you play by feel a lot, and feel is not something you can get very early in a game, you know?
Yeah. Like, I guess, warning sign. Well, that's not even a gameplay warning sign, though. So never mind. Like, there are many warning signs that you could bring up here, but none of them really would pertain to gameplay, because that's the thing with fighting games. Like, we have a scheme that's set in stone for the most part. People don't really like to wander away from it too far because then they won't get any success. And the
Yeah.
changes, whether you receive the changes that they've made to the basic formula, positively or negatively, is a completely subjective thing. Like, I don't like what Strive did to Guilty Gear. That doesn't mean that Strive is a bad game. Like,
Yeah, that can be a big part of it too. Of like, because there are some things to game design that I think can be very objective, but there are some things to game design that can be very subjective, and speed is one of those things.
like I guess objectively, a red flag in fighting games would be when they prioritize animation over
Just
gameplay.
going off angry video, yeah, and not just going off angry video game nerd style. at the Because I mean, just thinking about game speed, I was just thinking about like, Mike and Ted, who are both good friends of ours, but we know from experience that if a game is too fast for Mike, Mike will say it's for like fucking ADHD, blah blah blah, people who are deranged in the head. And if a fighting game is too slow for him, he'll say it's for idiots. So you need to find the right exact speed for his subjective tastes, or else you are objectively an idiot or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, you just got to have a more measured take. The internet's already full of enough people just throwing big hissy fits and pissing and shitting everywhere. It doesn't need more people doing that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but yeah, so to close out on this topic, the only legitimate objective complaint that I could bring up as a red flag would be when a fighting game prioritizes animation over the game feel. And there's literally one game I can bring up that did this, that I know of.
if you say Mortal Kombat, I think there's going to be a lot of people disagreeing with you.
No, Real Bad Fatal Fury 3. I think that's the one.
The initial one, right? Before the Real Bout specials?
I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. I know that there was this KOF game in the 90s that has really good animation, but the game feels horrible.
The initial Real Bout had some really interesting ideas, but it also had a lot of fucked up ideas. So I could believe if that's the one you're talking about. Yeah.
So yeah, there's literally that one game that I can bring up where there's a big red flag about the game that you can feel immediately, and that's it.
Yeah.
All right, then let's see. All right, so we both know the term kusoge.
Yeah, Japanese for shitty game, right?
But yes, but it's a different term. Like it's kind of morphed into its own term in the FGC, but whatever. So someone raised the question of how would you describe an anti-kusoge?
An anti-kusoge?
Yeah.
A game that's too good so it's not fun? Too well made so it's not fun?
Yeah.
I would describe it as Mortal Kombat 11.
I would describe it as Mortal Kombat 1. Fuck. Street Fighter 1. Yeah, no.
Street Fighter 1 is 100% just straight Kusoge.
Yeah, like
that game just sucks.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like the Street Fighter 1 is so far the anti-Kusoge that it loops around and becomes the biggest Kusoge.
So when I think of like the fun Kusoges, right, or shitty games, I'll just say shitty games. When I think of the fun, shitty fighting games like Fist of the North Star or Dong Dong Never Die, it's because in a lot of ways they're so poorly balanced that the sky, and they're so goofy that the sky is the limit. But they're badly made in a lot of ways, visuals and other ways. Mortal Kombat 11 has gorgeous visuals and all this and that, a lot of really cool stuff about it. But at the end of the day, when you get down to it, the gameplay isn't that fun because it is very precisely tuned and balanced. So there is no realm for experimentation or exploration. You can only play the character in the precise way they were built to play. And it took a lot of work for NetherRealm to refine fighting game characters down from having a lot of freedom to almost none. And their work was wasted because putting in all that balancing and tuning just got rid of a lot of the fun of playing a character.
Yeah, like this. Go ahead.
And I don't want to talk about this any further because I have already talked about Mortal Kombat 11 enough on this podcast.
True.
Honestly, there are parts of Street Fighter V that can come close to that, and Strive, where it's, again, the reverse Kusoge. Like, this game is spectacularly well made in parts, but then it's got that. Street Fighter V a little less so, because Street Fighter V has some serious visual issues. Ken's banana hair comes to mind. Honestly, come to think of it, Marvel Infinite is actually a AAA Kusoge, isn't it? Or Shitty game, whichever.
Well, the Japanese, apparently, I've learned of this relatively recently, but apparently the Japanese consider the entire MVC series Kusoge.
That makes sense. Like, I guess that'd be one of those big differences of the American competitive scene was built on Marvel 2, so there'll always be a lot of respect there. But at the end of the day, Marvel 2 is a horrifically badly balanced game. Yeah. There are only 4 viable characters. 3 is a lot better balanced, but that doesn't change that 2 dominated the fighting game scene for 10 years. Infinite, I haven't put enough time in with Infinite to really know its competitive scene that well. But Infinite has managed to have a far healthier competitive life than it had any right to. And that's partly because it did give a lot of freedom, but it wasn't the fucking clusterfuck of weird, bad balance that Marvel 2 was. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's a whole funny thing there.
Yeah, and this whole thing came up because, the new Kusoge dropped in DNF Duel, and people who play DNF Duel people who play DNF Duel don't like people calling their game shit, even if it's like tongue in cheek or whatever.
Yeah,
because but once again, Kusoge does literally mean shitty game, but at the same time, the FGC's usage of the term has morphed it into just mean game with questionable balance decisions.
Yeah.
Like basically, yeah, go ahead.
It's the weird thing about having this string of fighting games come out where the balance is so tightly dev controlled that a game can come out with just nonsense, absent of balance, and people are really happy with it because it's not what they've been getting.
Yeah, and I mean, if like the thing is, out of all of the game developers to do this, it had to be aiding. Like, they were the only ones capable.
Who?
Aiding. The people who made Marvel 3.
Oh, weird. I did not know that.
Yeah, DNF Duel was made by the people who made Marvel 3.
Huh.
Which is why fucking Cowboy Man is just Dante. 1-to-1. Same moves.
That is interesting.
But yeah. That's like, yeah. Like, it is weird though how we're technically having a game that is Marvel at its core, but with fucking Guilty Gear Strive's graphics.
It is, but there's a lot of people who specifically have always been waiting for that.
True. Like, at the same time, they're not really getting Marvel 3. They're getting Marvel 3 simple mode, but still better than nothing.
And nothing is what Marvel fans have been getting.
Yeah. And let's see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought I had misplaced my knife. That would have been an awkward thing to be like, well, that's lost.
that seems to be it. Let me check the news once again real quick to see if anything's come out since we've been recording. Which is not likely, but you know.
It does sometimes happen.
Yeah.
But I think for the rest of today's podcast, I think we can just hit MultiVersus for a little bit.
Sure.
We both did put a little bit of time in with it. Well, I put a little bit of time in with it. I don't know how much time you put in. Soon says that you two played together yesterday and that you now hate the game.
He's like... I spent a lot of time complaining about the netcode, but that doesn't mean that I hate the game. Otherwise, I would hate most fighting games.
Yeah. Netcode is a bit more brutal in platform fighters than in traditional fighters, though, since platform fighters you have the ability to kill yourself.
Exactly, which is why I was so salty about the netcode yesterday, and soon even saw what the netcode does. Like I got lucky in that whenever the netcode decided to just use fucking not Killer Queen, the other one.
Hamster on a wheel.
No, I'm trying to make a JoJo reference, but I'm forgetting the name of the stand. Shit.
I'm trying to make a reference everyone else can understand. Yeah, that's
anyway.
Like, so when it rollbacks while you're walking backwards in Street Fighter, it's like, well, at least I'm blocking. When it rollbacks while you're walking backwards in MultiVersus, you come back to see your little special animation that you set up for dying play. Yeah, that's all, folks.
Yeah, that's been a lot of my experience with MultiVersus, and like, you know, Soon kept saying, oh, well, it's only the PS4 launcher, and like, you know, that's fine. Well, it's not a PS4 problem because then other games would also have this.
It's a mixture of things. The PS4 isn't quite powerful enough to handle rollback as we would like it. At the same time, MultiVersus is not the most graphically intensive game.
Not only that, but like, I said this before, and I'll keep saying it until they fix it. But like, this could be fixed rather easily. Let's look at another game that does rollback that does it fine. Guilty Gear XXSN Core Plus. That game allows you to change the amount of rollback frames, so you can play on rollback until it gets, or it can delay your inputs by say 3 frames, and then rely on rollback for the rest. Which means that if your connection isn't perfect, you can just, you know, decrease or increase the amount of delay frames that you can handle, and then still get rollback working properly. MultiVersus has no fucking option to change your delay or rollback frames. So you don't get a choice in how delayed your input is. Your input is just as delayed as they want it to, and then when rollback shits itself, it just does. Which is the worst of both worlds.
Yeah.
Like there was a day. It might have been the day that we played together, so yeah, yesterday. But usually when I'd play MultiVersus, I would try to play MultiVersus around afternoon you guys' time, because I connect to the American servers, because the American servers have time and time again proven with most online games that my internet connection is better with the American servers than the European ones for some reason.
Maybe it's because it's on the virtual fighter setup, right? Where America is for some reason connected to a server in Africa.
Maybe.
In the fucking Congo. So, like, you're also connected to the Congo while the rest of Europe is connected to, I don't know, the fucking far north end of Scandinavia.
Yeah.
The snow makes it cheaper for the servers to run.
Yeah.
They just let it snow directly onto the servers.
Yeah. But yeah, so I would play at what's like early morning for me, and then just get a couple of games in, try to get money so I can actually buy characters to play, and the money would not come, and also like the more the days passed, the worse the rollback got. Cause like the first day, the game went fine, the game worked completely okay, no rollback. Well, there was some rollback, but you know it was an amount of rollback I expect out of an online game with rollback. And then every single day when I returned to play the game, the rollback got more and more noticeable until it reached the point where yesterday, when I tried to play against randos alone, I think I won half a set, so one match, because in the rest of the matches, rollback killed me.
Ooh.
All of them. I think there was one match where I was actually killed fair without walking off at least once. And like this isn't me saying that, you know, that those wins are invalid for the people who got them. I'm saying fucking hell, dude, fix the game's netcode. But yeah, like, and the thing is, like, I've seen people on the MultiVersus subreddit talk about how the netcode is great, and I mean, maybe for them. I wish I had similarly great experiences with the netcode, but like, once again, the more I played the game, the worse the netcode got, and I don't know how that happens.
Well, they're not really using that many servers, I would expect, but yeah, the game has wound up being far more popular than anyone expected. Like, it's like the third most popular in the game in the world right now, or something like that. So it's probably a thing of, oh my god, the servers are on fire!
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, we had some funny occurrences because of this that I managed to catch on recording. Like that one time when Superman just grabbed me and flied off of the screen with me, and somehow teleported back to the middle of the ring without dying. But I died. I don't know how that happened. I wish I saw what they saw, cause that I need explanations. Like, it legitimately looked like Superman suicided. Fucking murdered through suicide me or whatever the fuck. But he didn't get stock taken. So
yeah, Superman's remarkably good at dunking and then flying back to the stage, so the rollback probably just covered up him flying back to the stage.
it's a possibility, but still, it's a thing of like, it looked so funny. I actually want to see what happened. Yeah. I know it's lamer, but I need explanations. And like, it's not even a thing of I feel wrong. I just need to know.
Ha! I am obligated to be made aware.
Yeah. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Like that's most of my issues, cause like I don't like any of the characters. And I don't like any of the functions that are on the roster, which isn't great. But you know, like there's a couple of characters that I actually want to play, but none of them play in a manner that I like. And in fact, that's just true for the whole roster.
The weird thing for me is I've only put in time with two characters. I put in time with Jake. I put in time with Superman. And for both of them, characters in MultiVersus outside of Shaggy, even I don't entirely agree with Soon. I think even Shaggy is a bit of a weirdo. But I think every character on the cast is somewhat of a fucking weirdo. And they all take a surprising amount of time to get used to. So it's odd. But both Jake and Superman, I started off like, this character seems bad. And then 10 matches later, I was like, this character's OP.
Yeah, I had a similar experience. The only difference is that I played Rain Dog in 1v1s, which means that I didn't get to experience a character being OP. I got to experience fighting an uphill battle and somehow people killing themselves. Like, Rain Dog can do big damage when Rain Dog is in even like moderately capable hands, which like that's the best I would give myself. But you know, Rain Dog is very easily killable and has no real ways of killing you. So combine those two.
Yeah.
Combine those two, and if you routinely die to a Rain Dog, then there's probably something going wrong.
Rain Dog's big on the foreplay, but suffers a bit at the climax.
Yeah, pretty much. Like Rain Dog has one good ring out move. That's his spike, and I have yet to actually spike someone. Like I've killed people to the sides with the spike, but I've never actually spiked someone to death, which is an accomplishment, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've also got to experience a couple of other characters like Superman, who was Superman. he felt
he's weird, isn't he?
He is. But then that's most of the characters, as you said. Like I also played Finn, reluctantly. We had a bad experience with two Finn players that soon, and I decided to teach them a lesson about humility. But
you've got to stop holding a grudge against characters because you don't like the player AI playing them.
oh no, it wasn't that. I dislike the actual human players playing them.
Oh, okay.
Like Finn is currently considered very OP, like the most OP on the cast, because he can combo into his
Since they nerfed
backspin.
Taz, yes.
Yeah. Because he can combo into the backspin, and these two guys were doing nothing. Both of them were Finn, and they did nothing but backspin. So for the rest of the for the rest of the set, Soon and I also just went with both Finns and then taught them how to spin.
I'm kind of shocked that Soon didn't say Addy pick Iron Giant.
He tried to be Iron Giant in the first round, and it didn't work. if memory serves, or something like that.
He probably played Iron Giant not spamming the meteor move.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like with Iron Giant 2, I tried out Iron Giant in the lab, and I was like, this character feels easy. like the
that character.
Yeah.
I didn't put in too much time with Iron Giant either because I was kind of figuring, this character seems kind of strong, but also this character's still very obviously unfinished. He will be changed in the future. I'd rather wait until he's more finished to try him.
Yeah.
But I thought this character's amazing when I found out you can plant a little metal tree and then immediately eat it. And it's like, Iron Giant, why did you plant it if you're just going to immediately be like, oh,
why not?
Delicious. Look, a little tree.
Yeah.
He's a fucking maniac.
But yeah, like I tried out Iron Giant after having spent like 2 days doing nothing but playing Ragnarok against people in 1v1s, and I was like, this guy's...
Hang on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just had a stupid idea.
Yeah.
What if Iron Giant, if he kills... when they add other robot characters into the game, I don't know what other robots they would add to the game, but
Robot
when he
Boy.
kills them, whoever, when he kills them, he gets an extra metal bolt from eating their corpse.
Sure. Yes. And then while he's eating them, like it's a very gruesome animation, but he's saying Superman muffled.
Yeah. If Superman is his teammate, he just says, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, when I tried him out, I was just I saw his just not even anything special. I just saw his normal string, like his ground side string words, and I was like, this guy is fucking easy. Like this guy is very very big and has a very big hitbox. So
yeah. With that said, his size can be a detriment to him at the same time.
Yeah, because he's when he fucks up hard.
World's biggest hitbox.
Yeah.
If you throw out a projectile anywhere on the screen, Iron Giant will somehow catch it.
And I'm not completely true.
LeBron just throws his basketball off the side of the fucking stage and it somehow rebounds into Iron Giant. Ow! God damn it!
But yeah, so yeah. There was I. Whatever. I guess you can talk about some of your experiences with MultiVersus.
I don't have a whole lot to talk about. Jake is a fun character. He got the stretchy arm goo. He can also turn into a house. I am endlessly amused by the fact that he can do that little down special to turn into a house or a boat. And he doesn't turn back until you let the button go. So I can just stay as a house, hopping along through the screen. And it's pointless, but it's hilarious. Because, like, Jake, Why are you just staying as a house? There's a fight going on.
Why not? It's funny.
Superman is fun. I need to put more time in with him to learn to be less useless on the ground with him, because so far I'm only good when I'm in the air with him. And while Superman does have very good air tools, being in the air all the time makes you very easy to kill.
It fucking
shocks.
Fucking ask me as a Rain Dog main. Rain Dog has no moves aside from in the air. Rain Dog also pretty much flies, so you just look at him funny and then he's dead.
Yeah, we got similar problems, I guess.
Yeah, great character. I love him. He's there's a good reason he's my main. I want to die too. But anyway.
I also bought Bugs, but have not taken him online yet, or really spent much time in the lab with him. But I'm very interested in playing him, because that character seems fucking weird.
Yeah, Bugs is... I wanted to get Bugs, but I chose not to, because I tried him out in the lab a couple of times, and then I looked up someone, trying to explain how to play Bugs, and basically, Bugs is the set play character, as in, you need to be set playing 24/7, or you're dead.
Yes. Yeah, that's what's weird about him. Is like, I've seen set play characters before. I've never seen a character who 99% of their moveset is set play. He is like the Bug. It's perfect because that's who Bugs is in the Looney Tunes cartoons. But Bugs as a character is an entire match of running the fuck away from your opponent while setting up shit for them to fall into.
Yeah, and
which is exactly the kinds of shit Bugs does in the cartoon.
Yeah, and I had a really good match against the Bugs that I want to shout out. I forget what their name was, but it was really good Bugs. It was a very fun match because they were beating my ass and then also summoning 4 rockets from 4 directions and running on them Matrix style and shit.
Who? I didn't even know you could summon the rocket sideways. I need to look at Bugs' moveset.
Yeah. And the best part was I somehow got like ring out at them once, but like aside from that, it was legitimately just like a cat and mouse game, or I guess dog and hare game where he kept burrowing into the ground and coming out trying to hit me, and I would just jump away at the last second so it wouldn't hit me. and then the rockets appeared on screen, and then I had to fucking dodge everything at the same time. It was great. It was a fun match.
Can I just say, definitely the strangest, like, people always manage to come up with new ways to do weird things in fighting games that I've never seen before. Bugs having that thing where his crouch animation makes a weapon spawn at his feet. Like, I've never seen any fighting game character where it's just like, crouching is kind of a move that you actually just do and it causes things to happen on its own. What? Do you know what I'm talking about here?
Yeah.
Okay. Which I gotta say, I love the creativity of, rather than just having Bugs duck normally, it's instead, it's not the Bugs is ducking, it's that he's just ducked out for a little bit to check around the Acme box for some bullshit.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Alright, I believe we could probably go ahead and wrap up Fighting Games Fighting Games Were. And I hope so, because I'm going to shit my pants.
Well, we do have what we played this week, which I'm assuming for you is nothing.
MultiVersus.
Yeah. For me, I also managed to beat Darkstalkers 3 and Night Warriors. Maybe I forget if both of those came in resurrected. With Galen.
I believe so, yes. So they left out the very original, very first Darkstalkers, which is fine, because that game's not very good. Or, well, no, it's a fine game, but it is a blatantly inferior version of Night Warriors. And they also left out the 2 Japan-exclusive Darkstalkers games.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's just it's honestly kind of crazy that the arcade collection did include them, really.
Yeah. And I don't remember any of the any of the characters' outros and stuff like that. So, Galen have like making a hard decision between trying to like teach kids martial arts and being a wolf was funny. But what was even funnier is that in Resurrected, they you can just like they give you money for playing the game, and once you have enough money, then you can buy the arcade endings. So I bought BB Hood's ending, and I didn't remember BB Hood's ending at all, but it's great. In 3.
I'll have to see it myself, won't I?
It's I could describe it to you if you want, but it's better if you see it.
Okay, I guess that's one of the goals. I'll have to come back for the week after next fighting games are.
Yeah,
with,
it's I mean it's pretty much what you'd expect for BB Hood's ending, but like still it's pretty funny. Like just think about BB Hood as a character, and imagine what her ending would be, and you're probably right.
Akuma appears on the moon, and BB Hood is like, finally a real challenge.
It's just like Akuma's Alpha 3 ending, but BB Hood is standing on the rocks, and only Akuma's head shows up on the moon.
Yeah.
Maybe I can finally die. That was Akuma's Alpha 3 ending.
Okay, if they ever do a Marvel vs. Capcom 4, I know they want to stick to like the scheme of having one Marvel character has a rival in another Capcom character. Like, oh yeah, it's Virgil versus Wolverine, Hulk versus Hagar. But I'd like to see Akuma versus BB Hood. If only because I'd like to imagine the interaction boils down to, at first Akuma thinks it's a fight, but then Akuma realizes she's really that crazy, and he just goes, Jesus Christ, kid.
That would be in character.
Akuma fights to be the best fighter. BB Hood fights because she enjoys the suffering of those she heals.
Yeah. BB Hood would later go on to dye her hair brown and start calling herself Athena Asamiya.
Athena has purple hair.
I don't remember. All I remember about Athena is Psycho Ball. Psycho shit.
Like, the only consistent element of her character design is that she's got purple hair. Everything else changes from game to game. You fool!
I'm a fake Athena fan. Now I'm gonna have to sell all of my Athena bet fodder.
Oh yeah. The funny thing is, every time you mention Athena, it's like with agony, whereas I'm like, oh, it's been a while since I've played Athena. I should play her as our next time I play KOF.
Yeah, you're in Team Athena. I'm in Team Sylvie. Because she has.
I'm fine with Sylvie because Sylvie, honestly, like I don't know too much about Sylvie or her story, but Sylvie seems like the KOF equivalent of BB Hood.
Pretty much. Very close, at least from what I remember.
BB Hood possessed by the fucking demonic spirit of Palpatine.
No, that's just BB Hood.
Yeah, that's true.
BB Hood is like the BB Hood has I don't even know what monster I could shout out. Fuck, whatever. BB Hood has. I guess for MVC, BB Hood has Hagar pinned, and then she looks to the side, and then it's just a Force Ghost version of her. Just so it goes, do it.
Yeah.
During the week, and this is fighting games related, so I wanted to bring this up. And I'm just prolonging your suffering. You're welcome. But during the week,
when I shit my pants, it will be your fault.
Yeah, true. So during the week, I had this thought experiment because I was like, sometimes you see some very dumb outfits suggested for characters and stuff like that. As like alternates. And
yeah,
as is usual, my default is Akuma because he's the guy I know the most. So I was like, what's the dumbest shit that I can probably like put on, like justify for him? And then I actually kind of logic reached far enough that it actually kind of makes sense. for him as a character.
All right.
So here's the fucking alternate outfit idea I have for Akuma for Street Fighter 6, I guess. But basically any game that Akuma may appear in going forward. So which is to say maybe Tekken 8. I hope. I mean, honestly, Harada wants me to buy Tekken 8. Just fucking make the teaser shot Jin looking at Akuma, and I get it. I completely
Make the teaser shot Akuma is standing on a pile of Tekken characters. They're all fucking dead.
Sure.
Okay, what's the art?
So the outfit is the Halloween outfit, which is the best fucking reach I could come up with to justify it. But you know how in Street Fighter 4 they made it so everyone's Halloween outfit was animal themed, aside from pretty much Akuma's.
Yes. Yes.
So I was like, what's the weirdest animal that I can assign to Akuma that I can still justify for him as a character? And here's the thing: Akuma as a character can legitimately work as a wolf. They could give him a wolf outfit for Halloween. Because here's the thing:
didn't Ryu get the wolf outfit in
He did.
Fighter 4?
He did. But
Well, I guess Ryu's kind of a lone wolf, really.
yeah. But like here's the weird Ricci stuff that to me makes it kind of make sense for Akuma as a possibility. Which I mean it's not gonna happen, but you know. So obviously, we can just draw similarities between how Akuma and wolves are represented in fiction. You know, Akuma, the living person. But anyway,
Yeah.
like you know, Akuma is a form of loyal, and he is what's the word I'm looking for? Shit, he knows honor.
Yes.
But at the same time, he's also a ferocious beast who is hungry for power.
Okay.
But also, Akuma is in many ways and in many alternate takes on the character represented to have some sort of connection with the kami and like just heaven, because you know that's kind of his whole thing. He wants to ascend above heaven.
Yeah.
And the way they chose to represent this sometimes is by having Akuma just wear a priest outfit, a Shinto priest outfit, like he does in Tekken 7. And I think he has another reference to it in one of the Street Fighters, but I forget. Now here's the thing: wolves are in Japanese folklore. Wolves are thought to be messengers of the gods, or the kami. So that's a weird as fucking reach, but still, it kind of works.
So all this to explain why you want to assign your persona to your favorite Street Fighter character?
No, I just thought it amusing that I was like, well, it's dumb that people do this, and then I accidentally did it too, and it actually kind of makes sense to me.
Ah, all right.
But
Anything else?
Oh yeah, I did play KOF 13. Yeah. And
Didn't you play it last episode?
I played a match. Or no, I played like 15 minutes in the training mode and then quit it because I wanted to play Darkstalkers more. But this time I actually put in some time with it. And boy, I tried out Kyo because I was like, well, I don't really have my usual team, so I can just put on Kyo. Kyo doesn't have Rekkas. It's Shoto Kyo.
No, he does not.
It's Shoto Kyo, and I never learned how to play Shoto Kyo good.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it's Shoto Kill because Iori in that game has his powerless moveset.
Yes, and that's the other thing. I was like, well, okay, Iori traditionally has Rekkas, at least one Rekka. So maybe the powerless move. I've never played powerless Iori, for the record. And I was like, well, maybe I can figure it out with powerless Iori. You know, he'll probably have his Rekkas. I don't see how Maiden Masher is inherently tied to the Orochi power and stuff like that. No, like more aside from his normals, mostly different moveset. So
yeah.
So I haven't been able to beat the game because I only have 2 characters that I know somewhat, and apparently I'm very rusty with Kim, like super rusty with Kim, and Valtteri is reliable for the most part. Whenever it's not in the game, I'm always missing the power dunk.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he doesn't have it in KOF 13, which is a shame.
13 seem to have weird movesets in general, really.
Yeah, I haven't played around enough with the legacy characters to really comment on it, but like the ones that I have, that seems to check out. Although I did have a couple of funny moments in this as well. Because of I was playing the arcade mode, and in the arcade mode there's a scene of the characters talking between or before each round, and I come up to the Ikari warriors, and Kyo's just talking mad shit to Clark, and then match starts. I try to roll grab Clark. He immediately Argentine backbreakers me 5 times in a row.
Amazing.
Yeah. Like, I couldn't even be mad. Because that was too cool. That was too funny and cool. But yeah. Oh yeah. I guess this is somewhat news. And we can close out after this. But Harada did also reveal on his channel why he chose Akuma and Geese. And how he chose Akuma and Geese for Tekken 8 or Tekken 7 words and numbers. Yeah. But yeah. So, well, Akuma, he didn't really talk about too much. It's mostly just a thing of he went with the antagonists for the guest characters because he wanted to do something different that you wouldn't expect. That's why Noctis is in the game, because Noctis is the antagonist of all of Final Fantasy, the entire series. But
yeah, honestly, I think it would be funny if the trend kept going that for whatever reason other fighting game villains show up in Tekken.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
It just occurred to me, other fighting game villains show up in Tekken because in Tekken all the characters are fucking bad guys.
Yeah.
Like Paul and Martial Law, who don't care about the main story anyways.
Yeah, like I'm imagining for Tekken 8's reveal, they just do they'll do a fake Guilty Gear character reveal for Asuka or Krauts. I think that's his name, whatever, that man. And then he just goes through a portal in one of the style stages, and he comes out in Tekken.
Yeah. Well, the trouble is that man actually turned out to be not a bad guy, right? Didn't turn out he was a good guy.
Well, yeah, but yeah, you're right.
It'd probably be more likely to be Happy Chaos, would it not?
Maybe. I don't know who Guilty Gear's antagonist is supposed to be anymore.
I'm not gonna lie, I would get very hype if one of the first DLC characters for Tekken 8, you see the outline of a big muscular guy on the horizon. You're kind of like, is that Heihachi? But then you see it's not the weird Heihachi hairstyle. It's the horns on a mask. And you hear, "It's official. You suck."
Ah, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Nah, I was just going to talk about stuff. like on vaguely related stuff. So go ahead.
I'm trying to think who else they could go with, because they've already got a Street Fighter villain, a KOF villain. Shao Kahn, I think, would have to be the inevitable Mortal Kombat villain, because Shang Tsung or Goro couldn't really work.
Yeah, Rugal. No, wait, KOF, shit.
Yeah.
I forgot. But technically no. Harada counts Geese as Fatal Fury.
That is true.
So
they could honestly pull like a fucking triple header there, and like throw in Mr. Big and Rugal.
Yeah. So them. Let's see who else is there. What other game series are there? I'm forgetting her name. Hilda.
Boy, you want to talk about fighting game characters that would not work in Tekken? Hilda's pretty up there.
Yeah. She'd play like reasons. She'd play like Noctis.
Oh God. And that would 100% be the difficulty of trying to translate a character who has only ever existed in 2D into 3D, right?
Yeah. Let's see. What other series
Okay,
are there? Yeah?
legitimately, I know he wouldn't be the first crossover character from this series into Tekken, but I would pop super hard if fucking Nightmare showed up.
Yeah.
Because the question does arise, because Tekken and Soul Calibur are in the same universe. The question does arise: where is Soul Edge during the events of Tekken?
The Soul Edge entered someone's bloodstream, and that became the devil gene.
See, that would be interesting. Okay, let's say some fragments of Soul Edge entered the bloodstream, and that's why Nightmare showed up. He wants to rip Kazuya and Jin's blood out of their veins to rebuild Soul Edge.
Yeah, that could work.
The question, though, would be, who out of the Tekken cast would have been the one to pick up Soul Edge and become Nightmare? Brian.
Yeah, probably
Brian Fury.
Probably Brian, yeah.
He would be he wouldn't even think twice about it. Go, ooh, evil sword! Yoink. Like, the other bad guys in Tekken I could see being smart or hesitant enough to be like, do I want to risk giving up my own willpower? You know, Brian, he's crazy and stupid. He'll just take it. It's mine!
Yeah, but think about it, though. If Nightmare takes over Brian Fury, we get a Mech Nightmare. Mecha Nightmare.
Ha! That would be great.
You know, I was looking at my wall, and I have a poster with a lot of Marvel superheroes. So I'm like, who's the villain of Marvel? The writers. that's the writers will be added to Tekken 8.
They are, but I feel like the money-making power of adding Thanos to Tekken would be undeniable.
True.
Well, Thanos would be funny, though, just because I imagine him and Heihachi having the same voice anyways. I want to say Heihachi was voiced by... The only time Heihachi was voiced in English was Kevin Michael Richardson in Soul Calibur 2. Let me look up if Thanos has ever been voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson.
Yeah, while you do that, I'm gonna try to think about other game series where we could lift antagonists from. I mean, thinking through random fighting games, the first one that gives away is Akatsuki Blitzkampf, and I don't think they can just add Hitler.
No. Kevin Michael Richardson has never voiced has never voiced Thanos, but yes, he did voice both Heihachi and Spawn in Soul Calibur 2.
Ah. I don't actually know what other big fighting game series there are.
Yeah.
We can
add the old
yeah.
Bit of the old brain fart.
Yeah, I guess we can add I'm forgetting the guy's name. Let me look it up because it should be easy.
I don't think anyone would want to add the dead or alive villain since he's an actual rapist.
Probably not. We can add Bilstein. Stein? I don't know. I was supposed to pronounce
I don't know
it.
who that is.
The antagonist of Star Gladiator, Plasma Sword.
Oh, that'd be weird.
Yeah, just out of left field. Here's your Plasma Sword representation.
Yeah. Capcom won't give it, so Bamco will, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, though. Yeah, go ahead.
Does Virtua Fighter even have a villain?
The netcode? A lack of story? I don't know.
A shark?
Yes, a shark. You're right.
Like, the match starts, it just flops around and then dies on the spot.
No, it's the Mugen shark.
Oh no!
Every stage turns into Infinite Azure.
Mugen Shark versus Flock of Falling Father Figures. Who wins?
Mario Kart.
Yeah. All right. I think we're probably good to wrap things up.
Yeah, I just wanted to close out with two things about this topic. So, for one, Harada didn't actually want geese originally. Originally, actually, three things then, because there's a fun fact about how they added geese, but whatever. So yeah, he didn't want geese originally. He wanted Yamazaki because he likes Yamazaki more. But he was like, well, that wouldn't be proper.
Well,
yeah,
geese is more iconic, but honestly, Yamazaki would fit into the Tekken roster better, anyways.
Yeah. And then as for the fun fact about adding geese, you know, to get Akuma and everyone else, Harada had to lobby and shit. To get geese, he walked up to the guy who made KOF Oda, and he was just like, hey, can we put geese into Tekken? And Oda just went, yeah. And then like 2 weeks later, Harada sent him videos of Geese's animations, and Oda just wrote back, cool. And that's how Geese is in Tekken.
Alright then.
Yeah, that was supposedly the easiest acquiring, like rights acquiring for any of the guest characters. Which, yeah. But also...
Sounds like, yeah.
But
Alright.
As for the last thing, the funniest thing about this whole the whole guest characters thing is that Harada specifically requested any of the rights holders to not send him or send him or his team models, if they exist, from the previous games of the character and stuff like that, because he wanted them to remake them in his own vision. Because he looked at adding these guest characters to Tekken as writing his own fanfiction, which is why Akuma is canon. Harada wanted to write fanfiction, and that's why Akuma is canon, and that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
I genuinely hope that they can secure the rights to Akuma again, so we can have him back, because I'll miss him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with that we can close out the podcast.
Well then, fighting games were.
Yeah, fighting games were.